Okay, so let's talk about our injury cycle. You know, the injury cycle is really my life. I've lived this injury cycle on a macro cycle, meaning long, slow, methodical process, or a microcycle, whereas when I was training for an Ironman or an adventure race or an ultra marathon, I might go through this, you know, on an every day or maybe weekly basis. You see, I really believe that dehydration is evil. And that's where all of this starts. I mean, think about it. If you take your hands and rub them together, they heat up. That heat creates a sticking agent, if you were to think about it, within the muscle or within the body. So fascia, muscle, skin, if you have no liquid within the two, between the two, to give it this movement here, you're gonna create friction, and that friction is ultimately gonna bond the two together. And once they bond, that's when injury starts to occur, because that's it. So you start out with dehydration, then by 3 o'clock, you're going through the repetition of the movement. It's continued movement. You continue to go through that process. So imagine this, that sticking agent, that dehydration really working into one another. Okay, so by 6 o'clock, that's when you try to push through. That's when you feel the pain, you feel the discomfort, you feel aging, but you try to push through that movement. And sometimes you hear, well, pain is really gain at the end of the day, but this isn't that gain for pain mentality. This is the reality of that the muscles can no longer tolerate the demands you place upon them, so they start to stick together, and you try to push that tissue. You try to really enable that friction to occur, or unfortunately, what happens is, as you continue to try to get that movement into the tissue, and as it starts to break down and adhere together, by 9 o'clock, what happens? You stop doing what you love to do. You become inactive. And I'm sorry, the more inactive you are, the more the body's gonna stick together. You're not helping yourself by stopping the movement, but it's what you know. It's what you're told. And what follows that? Let's talk about this. From the body is breaking down so you can no longer do what you love to do. What's the mind doing at the same time? Man, I mean, the mind breaks down. The mind all of a sudden says, I can't do what I want to do. So what happens? I mean, we've all been there. Don't deny it. We've been there. Depression. It's amazing how an athlete can become depressed when he looks the part, but he can't do what he wants to do. So depression takes over. The mind starts to tell the body what to do, and that's when it gets really dangerous. I want you to remember, the mind can tell the body to do horrible things, but the body can tell the mind to do incredible things. So let's break this cycle. Wherever you see the parallel lines, that's your opportunity to get in there, build our programming into the process so that you can have a quality of life. Let's not live the life of dehydration and lack of tissue tolerance. Let's build self-myofascial release programming into your everyday life so that you can continue to do what you love in life.